October 4th, 1905, Ohio, United States. The first fully functional airplane piloted by Orville Wright, which is one of the ways air travel became a reality. Although the first was invented in 1903, but mainly functioned as a glider. Anyways, let's just talk about what an airplane is exactly. The definition of the word is an airplane or aeroplane is a powered fixed-wing aircraft that is propelled forward by thrust from a jet engine, propeller, or rocket engine. Airplanes come in a variety of sizes, shapes, and wing configurations. Leonardo da Vinci was one of the first people to start thinking of the power of flight and used hundreds and hundreds of drawings to generate his inventions. This was all going in the right direction, but was missing one little thing: power, which is when the Wright brothers stepped in. But you already know all about that. KLM was the first ever airline to start a business, and is now also the oldest one. But now there are various different airlines like Emirates, Qatar Airways, Air France, Lufthansa, Turkish Airlines. I don't think I need to mention any more. The most famous competitors of our generation in terms of airplane manufacturers are Airbus and Boeing. Airbus is made up of 4 countries compared to Boeing. Airbus is located in France, Spain, Germany, and Britain, while Boeing is only located in the US, in Seattle to be precise. Every day around 8 million people fly. In 2013, around 3.1 billion people used air travel and was expected to increase to 3.3 billion in 2014. While 3.1 billion people were flyers, around 50 million tons of cargo was flown, which makes up 35% of trade and helps around 57 million people for jobs, also generating $2.2 trillion in economics. Now let's talk about the Concorde, the first ever supersonic passenger plane. Made in the UK and France, the Concorde was the fastest commercial plane ever built, cutting flight time of 7 hours and 55 minutes from London to New York to 3 hours and 30 minutes, meaning you can leave London in the morning and arrive at New York in the afternoon or night. Built in 1968, the Boeing 747 was the biggest and fastest plane of its time. Fondly known as the RA-001, was able to carry 660 passengers including crew. It has 4 jumbo-sized engines, the most of its time. Its first flight was on February 9, 1969, 4 months after its release. It soon retired in 1993, making 12,000 flights, letting the new generation aircraft that we now know. Flown on April 27, 2005, the Airbus A3XX was going to fight against Boeing 747, settled for the biggest ever jumbo jet. Now known as the Airbus A380, it is the biggest passenger plane ever built, carrying up to 800 passengers and crew, who now holds the title. So what does this all mean? Planes help us travel from one end of the globe to another in a higher speed at lower cost compared to taking trains and boats. It also helps packages move to other countries faster, as mentioned, which means people were able to move around the world easier and is one of the reasons time-space convergence became much smaller.
Planes have had a long history until today. There are many examples throughout time which had significant impacts. Planes revolutionized transport and shipment for the better. The first flight was flown by the Wright brothers. Their first flight lasted roughly 12 seconds. It flew over Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Orville and Wilbur Wright did not invent flight, but they became the internet of the era with the invention of the Flyer, which was the first man-controlled flight aircraft. It had a huge impact in the future of aviation. It led the way for faster transport and cargo shipping. The first ever passenger plane flew on New Year's Day, 1984, from St. Petersburg to Tampa Bay, Florida. It was flown by Tony Jannus. This flight proved that it was efficient to fly passengers over larger distances than to take a transport method like a boat or a train. It has led to the rise in international travel and trade. There are plenty of examples on how planes impact our daily lives. They help us with many things that people don't even think of, like skydiving, zero-gravity chambers, and other hobbies. The modern cargo plane helps us in ways that we don't even notice. They help bring us products from all over the world, like for our consumption, like food, technology, and other products. It can help moving families move their belongings, helps modern production lines as well, to save money. It also helps with space-time convergence by helping the world share resources and technology. The passenger plane nowadays can fly up to 800 people at a time from very far distances. For example, Singapore Airlines can fly non-stop from Singapore to New York, connecting the 2 financial hubs together. They help transport people to places that they never would have been if it was not for plane transport. This helps with space-time convergence by allowing other people in other countries to experience their technology and cultures.